when you learn multiple languages, like you try to learn English and then French and then Spanish and then German and then Turkish and then Kurdish and I don't know, Chinese, you come across a word conjugation, but you also come across words that seem to be used in similar contexts, like conjugation, declension, inflection. So what is declension? You may not have heard it in English. If you learn German, you will need to learn about Declension, and you will need to know how to decline verbs. You know, the way we told that verbs change form in a lot of languages because they're conjugated for person, number, tense, mood. In German, nouns are declined for gender, case, and number. And when I say decline, I mean they have different morphological endings. For example, the word for boy is Junge, and then depending on the case, nominative, accusative, genitive, and dative, or number, the word Junge may have different endings and accordingly different articles. Der Junge, den Jungen, des Jungen, dem Jungen. You can see that the noun Junge has at least two forms and multiple different articles depending on case and number. You can decline adjectives too. For example, the word Weg in German means way, and it is masculine. Therefore, it is der Weg or ein Weg, which means a way. Now, if you can decline the noun Weg and its corresponding adjective, depending on case, gender, number. And here the word lang means long. So here we're talking about a long way. So when I say a long way, ein langer Weg. You see, the W is pronounced like V in English. Ein langer Weg, and then einen, you see in accusative, einen langen Weg. The article changes form and the adjective does as well. Then when I say change gender, here I have a table that has 3 different words, and each word has a different gender. Weg, way, masculine, Reise, feminine, Spiel, neuter. Now, what is the ending in masculine nominative, singular, indefinite? You see, langer. What is ending in feminine nominative, singular, and then it's indefinite because it's ein. So, lange, you see, the ending is underlined. And then for neuter is s. And then it changes across cases. It's the same adjective which is declined differently across genders and cases. And here, this is a simple table because we don't have plural. All of them are singular. So I didn't want to overwhelm you. But if you go to plural, then the endings might still change. The first table was a noun declension. This is an adjective declension. And then now we come to the question, what is declension? In traditional grammar, in languages like German, you have declension, the verb decline, to refer to the morphological inflection of nouns, adjectives, or pronouns. Even in Latin, in addition to conjugation, you have declension. So you have first conjugation for verbs, you have first declension for nouns. For example, insula in Latin is island, and poeta is also a noun, poet, and these are declined differently. In Latin, you have 4 declensions, depending on type of ending, and then you have irregular declensions. Do you remember in the previous video we had conjugation, now we have declension. Both of these are different forms of inflection. I have covered in earlier videos the term inflectional morphology, derivational morphology, so you may have some background from that and you can go and watch those videos. But basically, inflection is a term in morphology that refers to the process of word formation. In inflection, you add affixes to signal grammatical relationships such as number, singular, plural, tense, past, present, etc., and possession, and do not change the grammatical class of the stem to which they attach. When you inflect a word, you could be conjugating a verb, like in English here we have examples. Walks, walked, walking. These are different inflections on the English verb. Or you could be declining a German adjective or a German noun. In all of these cases, you're engaging in inflection. It could be about the verb, which is conjugation. It could be about noun, adjective, etc., in which case it would be declension. Basically, I have kind of answered the title of the video. What is declension and conjugation and inflection? You conjugate verbs, but you inflect nouns and adjectives. Conjugation adds information about person, number, mood, tense. Person like first, second, third, number, singular, plural, and it could be dual in some languages. Mood, indicative, imperative, subjunctive, etc., and tense, past, present, future. Both conjugation and declension are morphological paradigms. German conjugates its verbs and declines its nouns, pronouns, adjectives, and articles for number, gender, case. Again, dealing with a specific language, you have to see what semantic elements are important for that language. For German, the German language is sensitive to number, gender, case. Wherever it changes, you need to change your morphology. Again, one of my favorite languages, Latin. Here you have an example of the first declension of nouns in Latin. For example, the word woman and the word star and then the word sailor. They all have the same endings. Whether you use the word woman, star, or sailor, all of them belong to the first declension in Latin. They are sensitive to case though. You have cases and you have more cases than in German. In German you have 4 cases. In Latin you're having 5 cases. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. It would be more interesting if you put it next to the other declensions in Latin. This is the second declension in Latin and the third declension. This is purely morphological. So the word slave and man and God belong to the same declension, and the words city, lion, father, and body belong to the third declension. And that closes our discussion of what is the difference between conjugation and declension. What about inflection? So both declension and conjugation are different forms of inflection. They are different words because they're used for different grammatical categories. So if you're talking about the inflection of verbs, you're talking about conjugation. If it's something else, it's declension.